If your childhood was anything like mine, maybe you had a friend that was allowed to watch rated R movies and you weren't. And that friend's place was the place where the neighborhood kids would hang out. And they had a trampoline, and their dad never wore a shirt, and he would yell at you guys if you like got too rowdy. Is this too niche? Maybe sometimes this friend would watch a movie that you weren't allowed to see and then give you a detailed rundown of the movie scene by scene. I can remember this being the case for 2 movies specifically. The first being Sleepover, which many people have already talked on YouTube about how ridiculous that movie is.
Dave, handsome.
Ooh, his name's Dave.
And the second being 13 Ghosts. Despite the fact that I got a detailed rundown of 13 Ghosts from my friend, I remember nothing. But I am a huge horror movie lover, and I don't feel like this is one that people talk about a lot, so I was really curious to just turn over that rock and see what's under there. I did make a few predictions about the film before watching it, which may or may not have been correct, but I will reveal those as time goes on. Really quick, my name is Meredith. I just started making videos. This is my 7th one. I'm realizing that I like talking about niche stuff that's kind of goofy. I made a video about the show Kyle XY. My goal is to make something for you to watch on your lunch break where we can make fun of stuff, but not in a stressful way, you know? Anyway, subscribe if you want, but no worries if not. Okay, this all started back in 1960 when a film called 13 Ghosts 1-3 was released. Directed by William Castle, such a horror movie name. That's right. 13 Ghosts is a reboot. I was not going to watch the original movie at first, but I watched the first 5 minutes of it, and the jokes were so corny that I couldn't stop watching.
Will you take over for me then?
Yes, of course. Oh, Si, where are you?
Explaining how man survived the Pleistocene age.
How did he? And why?
Oh, brother!
It starts with a guy named Cyrus inheriting a house from his uncle who died, named Dr. Zorba, and the house contains 12 ghosts. Which brings me to my first prediction. What are my predictions for the movie? I don't think that there will be 12 ghosts, or fewer. So that was wrong. This is also how the plot of 13 Ghosts starts, except that the uncle that dies is named Cyrus, and the nephew that inherits the house is named Arthur Kriticos. The house in the OG movie is just a normal old home, but the house in the reboot is this hideous, unsettling glass building. In both of the movies, the guy inheriting the house has a teenage daughter who seems like she's in her mid-20s, and a young boy who's a little bit of a freak, who loves the macabre. Each of the ghosts is kind of themed, they each have a title, the Wailing Lady, the Fiery Skeleton, etc. They do change the titles for the ghosts in the remake though, more on that later. There's a lawyer named Benjamin Rush, attorney at law.
Benjamin Rush, attorney at law.
Benjamin Rush, attorney.
Who?
Benjamin Rush, attorney.
Who comes to pass the estate from Dr. Zorba to Cyrus. But he's really there because he thinks that there's money hidden in the house and he wants to steal it. This is also true in 13 Ghosts, but his name is Ben Moss. You don't really need to know that, but I have so much unnecessary 13 Ghosts lore in my body right now that I need to get rid of it, and this is my outlet for that. It's like sitting in a sauna and sweating out the toxins. There's a housekeeper in 1-3 Ghosts who is a creepy occultist, and her name is Elaine, and she's played by Margaret Hamilton, who played the Wicked Witch of the West. Everybody in this movie calls her the witch, and it's so rude and I hate it, and I'll never forgive them.
We got a witch too.
A live one?
Couldn't you wait for the witch?
You better stop calling her that, or she'll cut your tongue out.
Told ya. She's even got a broom.
I see what you mean.
Bruh.
Bizarrely, the last shot of the film is Elaine picking up a broom and looking smugly at the camera, which I can only imagine is a heavy-handed nod to The Wizard of Oz. Imagine seeing that in 1960. That shit was probably hyped. Dude, did you hear about the Wizard of Oz Easter egg in 13 Ghosts? 1-3 Ghosts utilizes a lot of baffling moaning noises, which I don't like. In the remake, the lawyer just wants the money and then he's killed off pretty quickly. But in the original, he's revealed to have murdered Dr. Zorba. Then he tries to murder Buck, who's the little son. His weapon of choice is a bed with a canopy top that descends super slowly to suffocate the person. I wish I was joking. It's so silly. It moves at the speed of those little automated stair mover things. During the lawyer's attempt to eliminate Buck, one of the ghosts pushes the lawyer under the canopy at the last second, and then Buck is able to escape. After that, the ghosts are all gone for some reason, and the movie ends. It's so Anticlimactic. There's Twilight Zone episodes that have more climactic endings than this. There are corporate training videos that have more climactic endings than this.
Put the lid on and set the tea bag on the top. If they want lemon, it's very nice. Don't think twice, give the guests a juicy slice.
I can definitely see why audiences were frustrated, and it was pretty much panned by critics. I mean, this is the same year that Psycho came out, and this was like 2 years after Vertigo and The Fly came out. Like, there was no shortage of scary movies at the time. The bar was pretty high. When theaters showed this movie, they used this like gimmicky thing called Illusiono glasses, which made the ghosts on screen seem like not 3D, but more spectral. It's kind of cool because in both movies, the characters have these like special glasses that allow them to see the ghosts. So it's kind of this like meta gimmick. It just really doesn't sound like people were that impressed by this. People were like, it's not that cool. It doesn't really make a difference. And also, the ghosts aren't scary enough to justify special glasses. I wasn't there, so it's easy for me to sit here in my 2026 chair and say, I think they lacked whimsy. I don't know, I can kind of see what they're talking about. Like, there's this scene with a lion ghost. It's not even a scary, like, haunted lion. It's just a lion. It feels kind of humiliating sitting and watching this for minutes on end. It's like when a little kid is like, watch my trick, and they're just flopping around on the ground. And you're like, ooh. The blue and red theme in the intro, though, that like references the Illusiono glasses is really cool and striking. I like it a lot. Now that I've seen 1-3 Ghosts, I think the casting in 13 Ghosts is pretty good. Like, if the cast of the original was a normal chocolate cake, then the cast of the remake is like a pretty good recreation of that chocolate cake, but it's made in a bundt pan, and that's Tony Shalhoub. And then also it has a jalapeno on top for garnish, and that's Matthew Lillard. And then it comes with delicious ice cream, and that is the character of Maggie, who you'll meet later. I regret this analogy, but I'm in too deep at this point. Just like my trampoline friend did for me, I'm gonna give you a full rundown of 13 Ghosts. There are so many baffling moments in this film that I genuinely cannot tell what is intentionally camp and what is unintentionally funny. So I'm just gonna share them all with you and you can decide for yourself. I watched this on Tubi, and for some reason there's a blinking typing mark at the bottom of the screen the entire time, as if to say, hey, you want to take a crack at this? Never in my life have I tried to watch a movie and have it go, we're open to suggestions. I started this movie and it said, how are you with writing movies? So yeah, it doesn't bode super well. We start with the most bizarre opening scene. It like keeps me up at night why they decided to do it this way. I have no idea. We're at a car junkyard lot. A large truck busts through the gate. Are they breaking into the junkyard lot? Sure, I guess. There's police caution tape everywhere. Is this a crime scene? Unclear. Sure. Also, like, the idea that there would be crime scene tape all the way up these giant stacks of cars is so funny. Like, some cop is just really trying to cover his bases. Cyrus, the ghost hunting uncle character, and Dennis, the medium who is reluctantly helping Cyrus, pull up in a jalopy. Even though this is set in present day, they deadass pull up in the Charlie Chaplin. Dude's pulled up in the... Dennis tries to take some medication and Cyrus knocks them out of his hand and they go flying through the air like something out of Looney Tunes. Dennis is like, I just gotta take the edge off.
I just need to take the edge off.
And this medication use is just never mentioned again or explained. This woman shows up named Kalina, who's played by Miss Honey from Matilda. She shows up with this other guy to be like, capturing ghosts is inhumane. You can't do this. It's not right.
These aren't animals you're capturing. They're human beings.
They are dead human beings.
And the dude says to Cyrus, you'll never pull it off, not without the 13th ghost. This is how we find out that Cyrus has commissioned Dennis to help him find 12 ghosts. But uh-oh, surprise, they actually need 13 ghosts, and Dennis didn't know about that, and he's not happy.
You contracted me for 12 ghosts. The breaker's 12. I'm done after tonight, Cyrus.
Yes, 12, and then one more.
So they're here to capture their 12th ghost, and Cyrus is like,
Bring in the cube.
me in 2002 on a Saturday morning when I could finally play Super Mario Sunshine. The cube is this big telephone box looking thing meant for containing a ghost. They have a dump truck full of blood that they spew everywhere as bait for the ghost. Not only are we learning in this moment that blood can be bait for a ghost, but Dennis says, why do we need bait? We've never needed bait before. So we're also learning that this is unusual. None of this ever matters later, okay? I can't stress this enough. This is all inconsequential. The blood bait never matters again. The ghost they're trying to catch today is called the Breaker. They say he's called the Breaker because he broke his victims into a bunch of little pieces. But my theory is that they call him that so that they can use this line later.
I need to get inside and check the breaker.
And they think that's like funny or something. They think that's a funny joke. The Breaker comes out, He's not even that scary. By the way, forget that this guy's called the Breaker because later on they're gonna call him the Juggernaut, okay? They're never gonna mention the Breaker again. This random guy gets eaten like a seagull eats a tortilla chip. The anti-ghost cruelty guy gets killed and Kalina is like, he's dead, he's dead. Why do we care? I don't know. I do not know why we even know this character. This guy never matters. Cyrus also super dies in this scene. Like, it looks like he's chippy chopped with a giant slice of metal. Okay, scene change. We jump to meeting Arthur Kriticos' family in this like dream-like opening credits sequence. Look how uncomfortable this kid looks being spun around. Unhand him! We get to hear like an audio montage of the family celebrating Bobby's birthday and then the mom dying in a house fire. But the way the audio is cut together kind of makes it seem like Bobby's birthday candles caused the house fire.
Make a wish. Blow out the candle. What'd you wish for?
I love you too.
It also just does not seem like the mom should have died in a house fire. We hear the smoke alarm go off, and then the mom is like, Arthur, get the kids. And then the next thing you hear is the kids just being like, where's mom? Where's mom? And like, yeah, where the fuck is mom? Where did she go? If not to safety.
Fire alarm. I'll get the kids. You call the fire department.
Dad, help, Mom!
Get the kids!
Where's your mom? Where is she?
I don't know where Mom is!
Can't go back in there, sir. I'm sorry, sir. She didn't make it.
There's this rotating shot of Tony Shalhoub like, there's a possibility. Okay, time skip ahead, and I guess the mom was the breadwinner because they are living in like relative poverty. We get to meet Maggie, who is the live-in nanny. How or why they can afford a live-in nanny? I don't. She's awesome though. Like I said earlier, Bobby is the son who's a little freak. He has a little My Favorite Murder podcast. Okay, it's not really a podcast. This was like 2001. But look at this kid with his little microphone. You're telling me he's not about to read off a Casper mattress sponsorship?
Bobby, honey, find a healthier hobby.
Leave me alone, you guys. I'm recording.
He goes like, Dad, they found a body behind Dunkin' Donuts. And his dad is like, I love Dunkin' Donuts.
Dad, they found a guy without a head behind Dunkin' Donuts.
Oh, I love Dunkin' Donuts.
Okay, so the obviously villainous looking lawyer named Ben Moss shows up to tell them that they've inherited a house from Arthur's uncle Cyrus, who has just died. And he plays them a video message. The message opens up with Cyrus lighting up a cigarette. So like, he turns on the camera, lights up a ciggy. It's like those TikToks where people start the camera and then take a huge bite of their food and then start talking. It's like, girl, you could have finished your snack, like, don't rush to hit record on our account. And then the video message, like, I don't know how else to describe this. It like ends and restarts 3 separate times. Let me just show you.
I have seen some amazing things. But the only regret I have, enjoy. Perhaps we'll meet again.
That night, they drive to the new home with the lawyer. There's a brief scene cut in here with Kalina like doing occult stuff and grabbing dynamite. And there's this song playing in the background that is so silly. I want to play it so bad, but I don't want to get copyrighted. Thankfully, it's kind of talk singy, so I'm just gonna give you the gist here. I believe in, I deceive in, bottom weave in, I can breathe in, make a wish in, flower fishing, move in vibration, mild relation, I'm Jamaican on your radio station, got a cursin'. Could be worse. That's enough. You get it. It's called Tricky by XS. You should listen to it. It's amazing. It feels like a song that would be in Morbius. Anyway, they get to the place. Everybody in the family keeps raving about how beautiful the house is, but like I said earlier, it's like really hideous and unsettling. It took me so long to even figure out what I was looking at with this house. Like, it looks AI generated. Throughout this movie, they are so complimentary of the house that it makes you question their sanity. And it just draws more attention to how uncomfortable it looks.
It's beautiful.
Oh my God.
Cool. So futuristic.
This bathroom's unbelievable.
Everything's so beautiful.
This place is awesome.
When they arrive at the house, Dennis is standing outside dressed like an electrician. If you zoom in on his name tag, he has the fake name Surge Tracer. Perfect. Love it. It's giving Seymour D. Spy from Spy University. He says that their house is interrupting power for 5,000 people in the Tri-Quad area.
Your house knocking out the power of the whole Tri-Quad area.
Hey man, what's a Tri-Quad area? They let Dennis do his thing, but he's obviously there for other reasons, like probably just to get the money that he's owed. They never say specifically.
As soon as you show me where you hid the basement, the sooner I can get my ass out of here. I believe it's down the hall.
Dennis goes off on his own and runs into a ghost and gets one of his like ghosty migraines. This happens? He runs into more ghosts. He's freaked out. Maggie, the nanny, Kathy, the sister, and Bobby, the little boy, are exploring the house, excited. Bobby has a rig where his podcasting microphone is attached to his Razor scooter, which is totally rad. Great for podcasting on the go. Dennis is like, okay, the jig is up. I gotta tell these guys what's going on. So he tries to reveal to Arthur that there are ghosts in the house in like the most opaque way possible, so to speak.
There's nothing wrong with the breakers. I'm not the power guy. My name is Dennis Rafkin. It's gonna sound completely whacked, all right? But just stay with me. I used to hunt displaced spiritual energies with your uncle.
I'm sorry?
PK agents, revenants, like wraiths. Do you have any idea what I'm talking about? That's okay. I'll do this the easy way. Ghosts. Arthur, I used to hunt ghosts with your uncle Cyrus.
Wow. I mean, at this point, Arthur's gotta understand, right? Like the cat's out of the bag. So he thinks for a second and he says,
Goats?
Ghosts!
Tony, Monk, stay with me, buddy. Stay with me. Look alive.
Ghosts, goddammit, listen to me! Ghosts as in disgruntled spirits trapped on Earth. Ghosts, you know,
Ghosts,
as in
right.
Halloween.
Okay,
Boo!
okay.
As in Demi Moore and Unchained Melody, right? Ghosts.
Okay, I didn't understand what he meant by that reference because I've never seen Ghost and I just watched like an edit and now I'm crying. What is happening to me? Oh, this movie looks so sad. Bobby finds his room and they do some of these like panning close-up shots of like a bunch of action figures, which had me incredibly hopeful that we would get like a small soldiers situation with like possessed toys. We don't. We get this really weird line from Dennis.
I'm getting my ass out of the big glass house.
I'm getting my ass out of the big glass house and going to the Big Apple, where anybody can be somebody. Maggie and Bobby find these glasses, which they don't realize yet, but they are the like glasses that allow you to see ghosts. And there's a bunch of these glasses around the house. The lawyer sneaks off to find the money that he's trying to steal. He has to walk by all the ghosts, which he can see because he's wearing the goggles. And he's kind of taunting them, and he says this really dumb joke.
Nice tits. Whoa! Jeez, you. What's the matter, honey? Bad representation?
Once he grabs the suitcase, it triggers for some of the containment cubes to open, releasing the ghosts, and for the entire house to go into lockdown. So when he tries to go back upstairs, one of the ghosts is waiting for him, Gazonga's out. She wants to kill him for the bad joke he made. So while he's backing away from her, he, how do I say this? He gets bagel cutted by a glass door. And it's kind of the highlight of the movie. And then this doesn't happen until later, but at some point they realize they haven't seen the lawyer in a while, and Maggie says,
Did the lawyer split?
and then even later, when they happen to run by the lawyer's body,
Is that half the lawyer?
meanwhile, Kathy is just living it up in her new bathroom. This is what women do in the mirror. If we're ever taking too long to get ready, we're just... The Bazong ghost is there too, just hanging out, so to speak. So I meant to say Gazong ghost, which was supposed to be a little made-up portmanteau of gazongas and ghost to reference the fact that I just said a few seconds ago in the video that this ghost had her gazongas out. But I said Bazong ghost on accident, which is pretty inexcusable because who will be the steward for my made-up word if not myself? And for that, I apologize. This is how my dog looks at me when I'm making a snack. The family realize that they're locked in the house and that Bobby has become separated from everyone else.
Where is your brother?
He's with Maggie. I don't...
Was with Maggie. We were racing and we saw all the glass.
Oh,
and
that's
it
good.
was
No, you're supposed to watch him.
Bobby is being called by a mysterious voice saying, go into the basement. But he's also being contacted by a different mysterious voice that's saying, don't go into the basement.
We'll have lots of fun, Bobby.
Don't come down, Bobby. Stay upstairs.
So there's a good ghost, which brings me to another prediction that I made. I'm gonna say one of the ghosts is like we're sympathetic to that ghost. There's a ghost that we're like rooting for. Turns out the good ghost is their dead mom. While looking for Bobby, Dennis finds a symbol on one of the windows and says, this is the symbol of the jackal. If the jackal is here, then we're screwed. He's like the Charlie Manson of ghosts. Wouldn't Charlie Manson be the Charlie Manson of ghosts? The jackal looks like this. He's a cage head ghost. Out of the blue, Kalina, the ghost humanitarian lady, shows up. She says that she got into the house through an opening that appeared while the house was shifting, but don't bother trying to look for it now because it's already closed up. Sure, buddy. Sure. She explains that the house is a giant machine that could theoretically predict the future, but it needs to be fueled by 13 ghosts, which is why this is all happening and why Cyrus was collecting ghosts. And the ghosts all have to fit certain archetypes, like the hammer and the pilgrimess, etc. And she explains that Arthur needs to be the 13th ghost by sacrificing himself to save his children. Boom. That's the third act twist, right? Arthur has to sacrifice himself. Nope, there's another twist. Kalina is working with Cyrus, and also Cyrus is still alive, and Kalina is a bad guy. So the whole performance at the beginning where she's like, stop, it's not right to take ghosts' souls, that was all a performance for no one, for no reason. Who knows if she even cared about the guy that she was with? Was he in on the whole scam? Unclear. Things are getting bad, and Dennis sacrifices himself to save Arthur, which is really sad because he says this.
Don't worry about Arthur. I've been looking for a reason to like myself for a long time. Don't, Dennis, don't.
Arthur runs into his dead wife, which could be a really emotional moment if there weren't like 12 million other things happening. Like, I'm trying to keep track of a lot right now. Can you guys do this somewhere else? Cyrus betrays Kalina by squishing her between some glass. He's like, what are you? And she's like, an idiot sandwich. Just kidding, that doesn't happen. Bobby and Kathy end up in the ritual room. I can't remember how they got there, if that's ever explained, and I physically cannot bring myself to watch this movie for a third time just to find out. Cyrus has Arthur in a corner and he's like, you gotta die, bud.
The machine requires a ghost to be created out of an act of pure love.
And Maggie saves Arthur by DJing, which gives Arthur a chance to temporarily incapacitate Cyrus.
Congratulations! You get to become the 13th ghost. Now get on your feet.
The ghosts all join together and they go all nu metal album cover on Cyrus. And then, for maybe the goofiest death of this whole film, the ghosts carry Cyrus to his death, like this. Arthur saves the kids without sacrificing himself, and everybody's safe, and everybody's happy. Yay! And Maggie's like, I fucking quit. As she should.
This is it for me. I'm on the first fucking plane back to New York. I'm sorry, family, Kathy, Bobby, Uncle, Ghost. I am sick of this nanny shit. I've had it. This was not in the job description. I quit!
Another one of my predictions was I could see there being a plot twist where there are 14 ghosts. If you count Cyrus, Miss Honey, and Matthew Lillard, then technically in the end, there were 15 ghosts, which is something that my little peanut brain could have never conceptualized. I thought for sure there would be a sequel for this movie, but there wasn't. Not because I thought the movie was particularly good, but because Hollywood loved sneezing out sequels for literally everything during this time period. There was a bunch of press a couple years ago about a 13 Ghosts 13-part miniseries, but it seems like it was just a bunch of baloney. I don't think it was ever gonna happen. When I was watching this, I didn't really realize until towards the end that all of the ghosts would have names. So I started naming them, and by the time I realized they already had names, I was already attached to mine, so I'm gonna give you those now. Pokemon Go, Joel, Stabriella, Ponyboy, parentheses evil, Boxy McMillan, Jesse Eisenberg. What were you doing when the house was on fire? You should have just left. Where did you go? Why did you die? Emetophobia warning. I don't remember seeing this one. L'Oreal No Tears Detangler. There are so many lines in this movie that made me laugh out loud just because of the bizarre line delivery.
He did owe me money. He owed me a shitload of money.
I'll be in here.
What are you doing? What did I just say? Did I just say there's a petting zoo downstairs? No.
I think the problem with 13 Ghosts as a concept is that it just all feels like it should go somewhere bigger, and it just doesn't. There's just not really a satisfying plot. Why are there 13 ghosts? Why are we all here? What is this all for? You can tell me literally why, but it doesn't seem good enough. We need all these ghosts to power a machine to see the future? Okay, what the hell do I care? Like, what's Cyrus gonna do with that? Buy some lottery tickets? You know, like win some sports betting? There are some cool moments in the remake, but overall it just doesn't feel like there's any stakes. I think if a 13 Ghosts reboot is gonna work, It needs like a total overhaul. I realize that's a pretty sacrilegious thing to say about an existing franchise, but yeah, I don't know, it's got issues. If I were to write the next reboot, here's what I would do. This is gonna piss someone off, I just know it. For the graphics and marketing, we're gonna go red and blue aesthetic as a nod to the OG. I think that the 13 ghosts need to be like a 7 evil exes situation. We've got a main character, a super likable main character, maybe a Bobby character, you know, obsessed with the macabre, maybe a Maggie character, someone who can experience real growth and development throughout the story, a la Ash from Evil Dead. We eliminate the bottle movie idea, okay? Just throw that out. Open world. That way, each ghost can have its own setting, and we as the audience aren't just bored of seeing the same glass hallways over and over again. It's just gonna make everything more compelling, more dynamic. Also, no goggles. That shit's goofy. Only the main character can see the ghosts. Beginning of the movie, something triggers the ghosts to target the main character. We're gonna have to jump right into battling the ghosts because there is a lot to cover in one movie. One by one, our main person has to defeat each of the ghosts until they defeat the 12th one. Maybe each ghost can only be defeated by being killed in the same way that it originally died. So like it died from a wood chipper, you gotta kill it with a wood chipper. Then, big reveal, the 13th ghost is a disgusting, horrifying conglomeration of all of the other 12 ghosts. It's huge and horrifying and traumatic. It's climactic. Big fight. Main character is struggling, but wait, I think I have a plan. It looks like it's gonna work, but oh no, guess what? At the last second, the plan fails, and our main character dies in a crazy horror movie way. Boom! End screen title drop. 13 ghosts in red, and then overlaid over the 13 in blue, 14. I'm not saying it'd be good, I'm just saying it won't be boring. On the one hand, I never want to talk about 13 ghosts ever again in my life. On the other hand, if they do make another remake, I will be the first one sitting my ass in that theater. Thank you so much for watching. Please consider subscribing, and you can grab some stickers or one of my reusable hardcover sticker books from my online shop at meredithhoagie.com. But no worries if not. Okay, see you later.